in 8th place. 9th place holds the 17 of William Duff. Travis Start rounds out the top 10 position in that number 26 machine. That's the first time I am hearing music in the background.
Never mind.
To break the fourth wall here for a second. You hear that in the background. That's the first time I've ever heard anything of the sort at this track. iRacing is very surprising with the detail they have. Anyway, the round number 6 holds Heberly Telemack and Ryan Lynch. No, yeah, that's definitely coming from the virtual track. That is absolutely wild. That's why I went silent for a second. It's like, am I really hearing that?
You have 4 additional sets of
that is genuinely surprising. All right, then Heberly Telemack and Ryan Lynch start off 11th, and the 12th, 13th place is Daniel McConnell. The field being rounded out by 2 drivers who did not take a qualifying time, that being the 33 of Zachary Lovelace. Good to see him back on track. And the 39 of Doug Pierce rounds out the 15-car field here for tonight. Pace car is rolling off. We're about to get underway for 150 miles, 150 laps. A very late stage here. Once again, the stage ends at lap 90, so a lot of the pit strategy could play into effect here before we even get into pretty much the halfway point. So around the halfway point of this race, everything should be stabilized. Pace car has pulled off into pit road, and the field is in control of the number 13 of Hunter Karsten.
Green flag, green flag.
We are under the lights here at Phoenix Raceway.
Outside.
And the green flag flies here. 150 miles under the lights.
Next car is the leader. Stay low. Stay low. You're clear high, clear high. All right, man, caution is out. Caution is out. Line up single file. Pit road is closed.
That's not gonna be how it is all night.
First lap led and caution.
Hey, Kyle. Thank you, Kyle.
Is out already. The 88.
You get your pedals fixed.
Of Heberly Telemack is around.
It's the 1 car.
Early on, first lap led by Hunter Karsten, and just like that, we are already under caution.
Give me 1 second. I got double feed somehow.
Caution stat then, because the last time we had caution was, well, Milwaukee on lap 61, but now it is Phoenix, lap number 2, I'll give it. William Duff already into pit road. Let's go ahead and see what happened here.
I don't know how to turn that off.
For a replay. So taking a look from up above, the 17 of William Duff. On the inside as Telemack goes right around the outside. Great move.
I don't know why it's doing that.
Looks like
maybe I can turn it off there.
From up ahead, even the 26 got loose.
Involved in that, Duff.
So something happened with the 34, Michael Ford Jr. Let's go ahead and see what angles we can get here. Very early caution. It looks like it's just a lot of grip being lost. And that happened to 3 different.
Oh, nice, Kyle.
34 to 26.
Yeah, pedals, that means a lot.
He is currently.
As far as IROC, I won Atlanta.
Damage, what's right on
just by
17.
Luck, I believe. Draft luck. Hey, Derek. I might win. No, actually, I'm not. I suck at this track.
And just nowhere to go, unfortunately. Well, the pace car is out early.
This track in Dover, I don't get it.
Hopefully everyone is handling the daylight savings time change as well, as
All right, man, we're going green next
pretty much
time by.
everybody
All right,
except
man, line up on the
Arizona
inside row.
has switched their clocks, I think, forward 1 hour, or backwards. It's one of the two. As someone who is from where this track is located, we know nothing about daylight savings for the most part.
I just don't know what I'm doing wrong.
It's still, regardless, a later evening for
I've always been bad at this track.
such as life of
Get ready.
dealing with daylight savings, despite not being in a state that has daylight savings.
See, Derek, I thought
Race
about
cars
that.
in.
So let's see. Looks like Hunter Carson does choose the inside lane. We haven't really seen a lot of lane choice throughout this season too much. On restarts, the leader is allowed to change to choose whether or not they want the inside or the outside lane.
Wise words there.
Usually runs to the side lane. So again, we haven't seen too
Green,
much
green,
in regards to lane choice. It's not exactly the most necessary thing.
Outside.
Pace car in
Still
pit
there.
road. Now the restart zone, of
All
course,
clear,
is
all
in
clear.
effect. So having to stay at this speed. So show it on the bottom, 55 miles an hour all the way up until this restart zone. Still all the way there where the Geico sign is. Green flag is waved. Hunter Karsten leads them back down through the dogleg into turn one.
That was your fastest lap of the session. The car in P1 just hit the fastest lap. 28.
What is that guy behind me doing? Holy crap. They dodging a wreck?
Sorry about that, Tony. Sword drove it in underneath, and I...
They go side by side for second place. Bill Chavez just barely had it there. Michael Ford Jr. way inside, 3 wide, all the way down to the apron. Sliding in the background is the 101 of Phil Chavez. He holds on.
We can go 70-some laps on fuel, so
Comes back out on the racetrack.
trying to save as much tire as I can.
Well, for those curious, air temperature is 73 degrees. Track temperature only 76. Now, the rare times that the track temperature has been nice to the drivers for the most part, as we see the 34 of Michael Thorpe Jr. trying his best to get outside.
I don't think Jonathan's going to have tires for long doing that.
Stay low, there's a car on the high
Let's
side.
take a look at the live championship standings now as things stand, as the 6th of Jonathan Burt has a little bit
Stay
of a
low,
moment
there's a car
here.
on the high side.
Way out to the outside, nearly hits the outside wall. He'll run
You're clear
through the
high,
middle.
clear high.
You can have it.
Side, can he get alongside the 8 of Brian McCann on corner exit? He does, just holds on to it too. Despite sliding, Jonathan Burt is rocketing around that middle lane. Michael Thorpe Jr. as well, trying to fight for the 6th place position. Clearing Brian McCann is the 6th of Jonathan Burr. This could help him a huge amount when it comes to the stage, but we're still 80 laps away from the stage anyway, so a long ways to go here.
Inside. Clear low, clear low. Inside.
That's
Stay
a
high.
bold
Clear low,
strategy.
clear low.
Goes to the inside. Unable
He
to
would have had it if he wouldn't go below the yellow.
so he'll just stick right behind
The car
that
in
number 1
P14
machine.
just hit the fastest lap. 27.248. The leader just did a 27.797. You got one inside. Stay high.
Look at Michael Thorpe Jr. just trying to barrel his way
Stay
down
high.
through to the apron. It is allowed, but that has cost him the 7th
Stay
place,
high.
or 4th place position, actually.
All clear, all clear.
He has held on.
I'm not a believer on how hard they're driving.
As looking up ahead, the 6 of Jonathan Burt looks to the inside of...
I believe so. I mean, that guy's...
Get there, though.
He's on the apron. There's no way.
Of Thorpe will move to the inside of McCann. Side by side, down the back straightaway for 4th place. Into turns 3 and 4. And just like...
I'm just babying my tires. They are chewing them through. Because I'm assuming we're going to have to go 70 laps on these.
Travis Start has started 10th place. He's currently running there.
That right front's going to be mad doing what they're doing.
Just using all of the available apron. Again, it is legal. This is allowed. The only punishment is the pit barrels there on the outside or the inside lane. The only
that right front gets smoking hot. It was getting up to like 290 when I was in practice after 20 laps.
Here through the triangle. Instead of triangle, it's more the dog leg than anything, but he does manage to defend that position. On board, Travis Start.
And I've got my car set up to where if I need to use more right front, I can.
It's like wall there. Heard a little bit of that.
I started off using as least as possible. Holy crap.
Got one inside.
Jonathan Bird way down to the inside, trying to get some sort of a run on the one of Kevin Sargent. And then the 34 will go to the inside himself, side by side.
What in the world just happened?
He needs the blimp a little bit more often tonight, apparently. As there goes the 6 to the inside. Sargent tried to defend the outside lane. It is side by side for 2nd place.
No, we'll be able to do 70.
And it looks like that has caught up with him. He's actually slowing quite a lot. No, okay, just the angle. Side by side for 4th place now. Travis Start on the apron himself. 34 Michael Thorpe Jr. will go around the outside of the 26. No dice just yet. Even though he's not eligible for...
They won't go flat. They'll just slow down a whole lot.
He's still putting up one heck of a fight, that 26 car. Something to know as well, the 17 of William Duff is out of this race, potentially. Too much front-end damage for William Duff, so effectively a must-win situation here. That's really heartbreaking. A very consistent driver in terms of finishing.
I think as long as I just keep pace with Sarton and Karsten, I'm good. I'm not worried about the red and purple car.
Disappointing. Of course, drivers in yellow are championship eligible. I would say anyone in green is locked in, but we don't necessarily have them yet. We're not quite there. Hypothetically, I believe Brian McCann could mathematically lock himself in. He just has to move 45 points above the cut line. Pretty much goes for any driver. Either you win or you point your way in. So we're right on board. 34 making his way up through the field. Starts 7th, currently sits in 3rd, 4th. Up 3 positions. That's where my brain was trying to go. Same goes for Jonathan Bird. He started 6th, so 1st and 2nd. So in terms of drivers where they started, in fact, we should have, yes, we do, over on the left-hand side of your screen, those are the starting positions of these drivers. We have 1st and 2nd, 6th and 7th, 3rd, 10th, 5th, 4th. Just in case it wasn't obvious that a lot has gone on here to shuffle the field. That is Zachary Lovelace here in the 33. He's about to go a 2nd lap down. He did pit early on, not sure as to why. Oh, wait a minute, 34. Does he have enough momentum to close the door? 26 of Dart into the outside wall. Side by side for 3rd into turn 3. This is so rapid fire. I have no idea what's happening at this point, but a lot of positions being swapped here. Michael Thorpe Jr., though, officially, for sure, that's something we all know, is now in the top 3.
I can already tell the right front's going out.
Out of the way.
So, was that lap 23?
Hunter Karsten still leads. Cameron Sarton still second. Third place being fought over by Thorpe and Burt.
The leader just did a
Brian McCann, I would say shockingly, yes, stagnated to 5th place. I'll say shockingly, considering how McCann has usually been a top 3 runner. Same goes for Cameron Sarton. Sarton comfortably in the top 3 right now, but this is fantastic for the 34. Let's go ahead and show once again the championship points as these drivers run. So as things stand for Brian McCann, he cannot mathematically lock himself in just yet. He is currently 26 points above the cut line. As in the back between Ryan Lynch and Doug Pierce. Go ahead and go back up front. Look at the 34. Michael Thorpe Jr. flashes up to the lead for a second. Just nearly makes contact with the...
I think that line Sarton is running the one you want.
Way to the inside.
Get that straight exit. Keep it off that right front.
Very aggressive. It's one of those...
Setup is real tight.
It's available to be used. Why not use quite literally all of it? And that is exactly what he is doing. I don't blame him one bit. If it's allowed, then why not do it? Look at the 6 of Jonathan Burt carrying the momentum into turn 1. Almost like turn 3 there for a second. That was a few years ago now. So a very firm lead being held by the 13 of Hunter Karsten so far this race. No doubt a brewing battle for what effectively could be pretty much any of these positions. But does Michael Thorpe Jr. make a move to the inside lane? Sarton is going to be the one to look below. As we ride on board Michael Thorpe, he sees this battle up ahead. But not enough momentum carried on the inside. This could put Sarton on the back foot. Does Michael Thorpe go to the inside? He does. Is he there? He barely is, just by a nose. Not able to make the move stick into turns 1 and 2.
The leader just did a 28.
We will fall back, reset, try again here. Look at the momentum.
There goes the long run.
By Jonathan Burt.
So we still had 48 laps there. We weren't even halfway on those tires.
By the way, move for first place might be incoming. Might be for second place. I think the 34 slid on corner entry there. Caution is out to 72 of Daniel McConnell, who quickly tows back to pit road. And just like that, the rapid fire laps have calmed it down. We are already 30 laps into this event. I'm already about, what, 15 minutes into the race, just about. At least on average. No doubt everyone's going to head to pit road, so while they do that, we'll go ahead and get a replay sorted out for everyone here to see what exactly happened to the number 72 heading into turns 3 and 4.
Pit boxing 10.
Well, this is 1 lap earlier, but still a replay nonetheless.
1.
So let's ride on board with the 72. Potentially could have been a hardware failure, since right here it looks like he's all on his own. Then again, we have seen drivers getting loose on the apron or on the inside. Let's listen in.
Line up single file. Past the 20.
That is quite strange.
That was what?
My guess might have been right with hardware failure. That's a tongue twister apparently today. Hardware failure. There we go. That took way too long. So, of course, he does have a couple internet issues heading into turn 3 and then just goes straight on. So I wonder if it's more than a quote-unquote regular hardware failure, but regardless, caution is out. Come back live, we take a look to see a new leader as Hunter Karsten has sped on pit entry. That's the only reason why he's already at the back of the field. Now, you won't be able to see the intricate speeds here, but let's go ahead and rewind this really quickly. So let's see, pit road speed coming into here is... Let's go ahead and slow motion this really quickly. So we also have time to see what the pit speed limit is. It should be 45, and that is correct. So 45, and pit road entry is in fact not here. You don't have to meet pit speed up until right here, right where these cones are. 45 miles an hour on pit entry. So we'll quickly impromptu fast forward, because we can't exactly skip ahead and sit through this entire process. So right here, he is accelerating on pit exit. That is strange. For some reason, a 4 wide pit exit actually as well, and 5 if you count the 6 and 8 overlapping each other, but he was first off. It's not sure as to why the 13 had to go to the back of the field. So he met pit speed as far as I can tell. The lights are still active on the pace car. I doubt this would be a question for race control, who is not here this week. Rare day off for Steve Benjamin. At least in terms of... No, correction, he is here.
Cold tires, boys.
Just hiding, apparently. But a very strange thing for Hunter Karsten. There's not an admin given end-of-line penalty either, so... who really knows? Let's see if we can maybe ask him a little bit later on. But regardless, pace car is in pit road. You see Cameron Sarton is off the throttle occasionally. You can see from the backfire there. Coming to lap number 36 here on the restart. And green flag flies once again.
You're in second. The leader just did a 27.95.
Well, 6, Jonathan Bird absolutely did not get going off the restart. That allows Brian McCann to get to second place. Michael Thor Jr. could be going back up to third here once again. He goes to the inside of the 6 of Jonathan Bird.
That was your fastest lap of the session.
Down to the low point of the dogleg into turns 1 and 2. Outside tires just below the white or the yellow line. Still side by side as Jonathan Bird tries to hang on for third. Proves successful off corner exit. Down the back straightaway they go. And sticking with him on the outside lane is the 6 machine. Half a car length separates them at the start-finish line, and it is still a dead heat between these two. Does Thorpe go to the apron? He does not. Off turn number 2, a very successful defense of third place. I think Jonathan Burt maybe tried to look to the inside there for second place. Both the 6 and the 34 got loose. Meanwhile, in this second group back here is side by side for 10th place between Dave McConnell and Doug Pierce. McConnell moves up into the 10th place spot, is side by side again for third place. Drag race into turn number 3. Can the 6 get done on the outside? 2 by almost 2.
Sorry, Travis, all clear.
Into turns 1 and 2 once again. Does Michael Thorpe use the apron? He does. You have to be careful though. He might slide up on the outside. Crossover to the inside. Goes the number 6. Momentum shift in the favor of Jonathan Burt. He finally moves up to the 3rd place position, but the 34 is still there. This is brought in Travis Dart, who nearly pit maneuvered the 34. He was inches from making contact. I'd say he would calm down for a second, but we just had that about twice. Does the 28 of Tony Brent make a move? No, he stays behind the 26 of Travis Dart. Jonathan Burt finally with some clear air. A little bit of time to relax in the process. Out front it is Cameron Sargent and Brian McCann. Hunter Karsten has already blown his way up through the field. Maybe flown through the field is the phrase I was trying to go for. I think my brain was going with blown by everybody and flown up through the field, but we kind of got there in the end. A bit of a strange phrase, but we got there in the end. Already Karsten up to 5th place. Well, it looks like we finally have a little bit of time to relax, and well, right when I say that, the 6 of Jonathan Burt last time by at the start-finish line was about a 1/10 of a second faster than both front runners. This track has suited the 6 incredibly well. Last time by at the start-finish line, again, about 8/10 of a second. Look at Michael Thorpe Jr. way to the inside, slides up the track, somehow avoids contact with the 6 of Jonathan Burt, but he is using all of the available racetrack there to the inside. Starting to be a bit proud of that camera placement that I made because, geez, I'm gonna need a wider angle lens at this point. Hunter Karsten might try and make a move himself. He decides against it. Thorpe stays on the racetrack this time, although effectively the apron is the racetrack. There's effectively nothing stopping from any driver on using the inside lane, using the apron every single lap. I thought the 8 of Brian McCann was going to make a move there. 45 headed to 46 this time by the start-finish line. Is such a fascination from some of these camera shots, seeing these drivers line their way up, heading into turns 1 and 2. Halfway point of this race is lap number 75. Stage ends at lap 90. Oh my goodness, we're going to be here for a while. At least that's what it feels like sometimes, but again, we have the pace that we have here, 27.7 seconds average per lap throughout the field here. In fact, a good majority of the field is running 27.7 seconds. But while we have a chance, let's see, lap 48, across the start-finish line. Let's go ahead and show the previous lap times here as these drivers reach the start-finish line. Jonathan Burt, a very slower lap for him. As we look in the background, the 26 of Travis Dart running the middle lane, running about 1 lane higher, crossover with the 13 who ends up at the outside wall. Hopefully no steering damage for the 13 because that car is absolutely flying through tonight. He'll go down to the inside lane. Well, inside one of the multiple inside lanes. Saying just inside lane singular is putting it very lightly in this instance. Lap times are starting to slow down for all of these drivers across the field now that they've gotten a few laps in. It's been 17 laps already since they last went to pit road. Now that everyone's slightly spread out, I think we do, dare I say, have a chance to take a look at the live championship points once again. At the moment, Cameron Sarton could...
I just not realized I was muted that whole time.
...into the championship four, but what we're mainly looking at here is the cut line. William Duff might, depending on how next week goes...
sorry, Derek, you're still here.
Luckily, for the S7R17 machine.
Said have a good one.
Said and done just yet. I mean, look at this. 3rd through, 7th in the championship standings are separated by, what was that, 5 points? 2,034 points for Jonathan Burt. And it's going to be 2,033 points here. Now that Michael Thorpe Jr. has made his way by, but could be back to 2,034. No, it won't. Into the outside wall. Goes the 6 of Jonathan Burt. Here comes Travis Stark. Not able to make move to the inside just yet. The outside wall at the exit of turn number 2 is getting a lot of love today, apparently, but the drivers are not loving it in return. The 6 drastically slower, holding out the 13 of Hunter Karsten. I saw a frame or a flash, the 32 using the apron. 2-point difference between Jonathan Burt and Michael Thorpe Jr. We still have the stage points at lap 90. For those of you who might be new, first of all, welcome. Secondly, stage points at the end of lap 90. So, typical NASCAR rules state at the completion of the stage, there's caution, top 10 points get awarded. But for this league, there is no stage caution. Unless the caution just happens to come out around that time of the stage, but knocking on wood, we have not yet had that. So the format is at the completion of lap 90, first place gets 10 points, second place gets 9 points, 8 points go to third place, etc., down to 1 point for first place. Travis Stark is looking to get those extra points, even though he's not in championship contention. He is still in contention to fight for 5th place in the standings when all is said and done at the end of the season. And oh, by the way, for at least tonight, the theme is a Texas Speed. Or just Texas, basically. And it looks like we have found out the failure. I was correct in the sense of a hardware failure for Daniel McConnell. He has graciously let us know 10 minutes ago that his middle monitor had decided to black out and he had to restart everything. So that is genuinely unfortunate. I've had that happen to me once before. Luckily not during a race, but it is mildly terrifying, especially when the computer tries to go, oh, okay, let's use the other available monitors and switches everything. So that's the upside and downside of the contention of whether or not mechanical failures should be in racing sims. I'd argue, yes, just make it hosted sessions only for the sake of everybody. At the same time, we already have quote-unquote mechanical failures with hardware in real life, as unfortunately demonstrated by Daniel McConnell. And, oh, by the way, for those of you who may be an iRacing member or somehow came across this and you're not an iRacing member, again, I say welcome. iRacing is doing a Black Friday deal right now.
Thorpe is catching us.
Started. So just head to iRacing.com/Black Friday. You'll be able to renew for 25% off on a 1 or 2 year subscription, or new users can sign up for 50% off. No, I'm not directly sponsored by iRacing, but this is the platform that you are watching this on.
Is he catching us because he's cutting a dog leg that much?
Currently at lap 60, closing into the halfway point of this race, that being lap 75. Not going to commercial just yet, but this is how things stand at the moment when it comes to the, well, running order. Starting off with the number 1 of Cameron Sarton, who has appropriately with the title of Ghost Racing, snuck his way up to first place. He started second, currently sits in first. So far, so good. Ditto for Brian McCann. Started third, currently sits in second, chasing down Cameron Sarton in that number 1 machine. The outside, the driver that has started outside the top 3 is now in the top 3. This is Michael Thorpe Jr. He starts 7th place, currently sits in 3rd. Absolutely flying through, using all of the available racetrack to him, and I don't blame him one bit. Travis started 10th, currently sits, of course, in the 4th place position. Doing pretty good so far. Again, got knocked out by effectively 2 points. But it was 1 point to tie with Tony Brent last week, and he was unable to do so. But regardless, it's still a fantastic run for Travis Scott so far this week. He'll be fighting his way for the 5th place spot in the championship standings. And speaking of fighting for 5th place is Hunter Karsten. You wouldn't be thinking that we would be saying this, considering he started in 1st. But ran into, well, a wall a little bit earlier on, so trying to recover, may have some damage on his car, so potentially no steering damage by the looks of it. Of course, he is still out on the racetrack. 6th place, Jonathan Burt. He started in 6th and currently sits in, well, 6th. I think very conveniently you'll find Travis start around the 6th place position here in this series. Tony Brent started in 5th, currently sits in 7th, trying to get a feel for the track still. A throwback paint scheme to the Haviland number 28, and I absolutely love
he about bit it.
It's just beautifully well done.
It's coming in a little hot.
Paint scheme. Phil Chavez in the 101. Currently sits in the 8th place position after starting in 4th, also trying to get a feel for the track as well. His last race this season, due to real-life commitments during the races for the next 3 weeks, or at least around the same time that would prevent him from running, but it's been great seeing the 101 running this season. David McConnell sits in the 9th place position after starting in 8th, so on paper, not too bad for the 22 machine. Again, still just trying to get a feel for the track in no man's land, and I would say an advantage of clean air. The 88 of Heavily Tail Max started 11th, currently sits, well, 11th, because the 30 of Ryan Lynch, who started 12th, well, is trying to get to 10th. There he goes, through to the inside. Well, those two fighting it out for the 10th place spot. Last driver on the lead lap here is the 39 of Doug Pierce. Did not set a qualifying time, sits in 12th place. And currently last of the running drivers, sitting 1 lap down, is Zachary Lovelace. A lot of bad luck, I feel like, for Lovelace. He's doing pretty good. He's been doing pretty good for the most part this season.
Apron.
Missed 1 race.
I hit it.
And just not gelling with this track so far tonight. He's
trying to figure out how to go faster.
Daniel McConnell started 3rd.
Thorpe's going to pass me, and then the guy behind him is going to pass me.
Same goes for the 17 of William Duff. He started 9th and is currently out, the first driver to not finish this race due to a very heavy front end damage. No doubt just couldn't repair the front end of that car. So that we are 6 laps away from the halfway point of...
Overdrove that turn.
Estimated about 38 minutes remaining here in this race as things currently run.
I think I'm just going to end up getting past here.
Wait, there you go. We haven't really had
everything I tried slower than Sarton.
Let's go ahead and ride on board for a couple laps with Travis Starr.
It looks like they used more right front. Well, they backed off early, so me and Sarton probably wore our stuff out compared to them, because we took off.
The leader just did a 28.282.
Looks like Hunter Karsten has made his way back up to the 5th place spot, currently trying his best to chase down the rest of the top 4. They're all running about the same lap times right now.
Yeah, I've lost the balance now.
Go ahead and
I should have just kept running with Sarton.
the start finish line for
Because it looks like Thorpe's done wore stuff out.
28.3 average for a lot of these drivers. Pretty much all the way down through the field as they cross the start finish line.
Hopefully I can find the balance again.
About 600ths of a second off of Travis Starr, who is faster than the top 3, trying his best to sneak his way up there as well. Well, at this point, we are at the halfway point. Well, not officially, but also officially at the halfway point of tonight's event. But still, 70.
Oh my goodness, that right rear.
Left. Oh, look at the slide of the 34. That right rear.
Hey, you.
Like on the entry.
How's it going?
3 though. Either way, halfway point at this event. We're going to go ahead and step away and go side by side while we still have a chance. But you won't miss any bit of the action.
Clear high.
I think if I would have just kept running with Sarton's pace, would have been all right. I don't think Thorpe's going to be able to get around me easily.
The leader just did a
With the butt kicker gamer too,
28.214.
what you see and what you hear is what you feel.
I got to make it interesting.
Butt kicker. The future is feeling.
Maybe you show up on the wrong nights. I'm just kidding. We got a win last night off of draft luck at New Atlanta.
Here at TWRS, we're always here to help our squad when they need a little push in the right direction. That's just who we are. We're a beautifully diverse group of goofballs dedicated to driving fake race cars as fast as possible. And we continue to push each other to the front using
So yeah, Thorpeson really burned his stuff up.
We have one of the strongest NASCAR programs on the service, and you can access it all for $24.99 a month.
I've somewhat got the balance back. I just don't think I can run
For each NASCAR.
Sarton down.
We also just added a rallycross program.
Not in,
as well. So come join the wheel.
not in 13 laps, unless he starts messing up.
Picks are not included.
That was a little mess up there.
We are back live here in the virtual Avondale, Arizona, at the virtual Phoenix Raceway under the lights here for the Texas Speed 150 here. Season 7 of the Full Send Racing Series is halfway through tonight's event. As we saw Michael Thorpe Jr. try and pull effectively a slide job on the 8 of Brian McCann just as we went to the break, but unable to complete the move was the 4, so he currently sits third right now, trying to defend his position from the 26 of Travis Dart, who will move to the inside lane. This is going to be crucial for the 34 Michael Thorpe here as we go ahead and take a look at the live standings. There's a 33, Zachary Lovelace getting out of the way up on the outside lane. Cameron Sarton, of course, if he were to win, would put himself in, but the main, actually pretty much everybody here is in the top 10 right now.
We'll take it.
First through 7th in the championship are all in various positions in the top 10. Ryan Lynch is the first driver, it looks like, to go to pit road, where can't get really any good angle. There we go. 5 laps away from the end of the stage. It has been 53 laps since these drivers were last on pit road. Down 10 points for first, 9 points for second, 8 points for third, down to 1 point for 10th. And yes, that does include Travis Dart, as he will
that got wrecked.
4 points.
All right, man. Caution is out.
To get himself up to
took out Thorpe too. Oh,
the championship standings.
Carson's back in the picture.
Season.
Yeah, we'll pace my back.
Pit road is now open. Past the 39. Past the.
Steve, you're
going to take a look at this battle for third place as Lato crash. It's a 3 of Ryan Lynch and the 34 Michael Thorpe Jr. is involved. The engine is done. 2 laps.
Oh, that sucks for Thorpe.
Stage. We'll have to wait and see how the points are going to be awarded.
Let me know
there is a ruling for this. We're about 3 laps away from the stage. There is a ruling for this. We'll have to take a look at the rule book here.
3,
I'm sorry, number
2.
And already, pit road is immediately open. Oh my goodness. A 26 of Travis Dart also got caught up in that. We need to take a look at the
77, 75, so.
And,
not too bad.
We'll see how. I'll see what the rule book says here in this instance. First of all, let's rewind. Something happened to the 3 of Ryan Lynch just as he'd gotten off pit road as well. Now, somewhere in turns 3 and 4, I mean, this was just in front of the leaders. I'm not sure what. Let's see, just loses grip, nails the outside wall. Oh man. Nothing he could have done there. There is realistically nothing the 3 could have done there. Let's ride on board. No doubt he was on the brakes. You can only hold the brake for so long. It can only do so much. Take one more look. Let's ride on board the 34.
Took out Thorpe and Dart. Oh, nothing they could have done. He just bounced off that wall.
Steering, yeah, there is nothing the 34 could have done there.
Bounced off the wall like a bowling pin.
I'd say it's just incredibly unfortunate. Let's see where the stages are. Let's see. Stage 1 will be rewarded after finishing the listed lap. If a caution comes out close to the stage, positions at the time of the stage can determine the stage. If during caution the listed lap is complete, stage 1 will be rewarded to the positions at the time the caution came out. Well, we're under caution,
All right, man,
and
we're going green next time by. All right, man.
here's
Line
the
up on
exact ruling
outside road now.
of the
Catch
rule
hey,
book as
car.
well. Steve Benjamin, please quickly message me in case you're happening to be listening if I'm incorrect with this one. But the stage points should be awarded as of lap, I believe, 88, if anything, or 87. If a caution comes out close to the stage, the positions at the time of the caution can determine the stage.
Yeah, but you don't need everything I got to be competitive.
Caution listed lap is
You just get a
right here.
decent computer,
If during caution, the
good monitor desk, and steering wheel pedal set.
awarded to the positions at the time the caution came out, not the positions during the caution or after the yellow flag stops. Well,
The Logitech wheels are really good wheels
the lap prior
for
to
entry.
the lap. Oh, we are after the listed lap, so I might have this ahead of time, but in that case, I'm glad I put this in early because the positions at the time of the caution were from 1st to 10th: Cameron Sarton, Brian McCann, Michael Thorpe Jr., Travis Start, Hunter Karsten, Jonathan Burt, Tony Brent, Philip Chavez, David McConnell, Heberly Telemack. That is
My goodness, that was loose.
the stage positions and points are. Hopefully a list of just the stage positions in terms of car numbers are posted at some point, but regardless, we are back under green flag conditions after a shock crash involving two drivers who both had ample opportunity to get points, one of which is still running but is in 11th. The crash in the back, that is Doug Pierce in the number 39 machine. He keeps going. Let's see what happened here with 39. Did he lose?
The car in
Did he lose traction off turn? Yes, he did.
Some of the pre-built gaming computers,
Damage, but
somewhere in the neighborhood about $1,000, typically run this game pretty good.
says it's
Single monitor.
for P1 through P10. I wonder if that's
You want to do triple monitors, probably want to get a better PC.
we'll have to wait and see post-race effectively.
The car in P4 just hit the fastest lap.
And wheel and pedal set. I haven't looked at prices in a long time. I'm assuming like $300 for that. $400.
All right, man. Caution is out. Caution is out. Line up single file. Pit road is closed.
Regardless, having
Then iRacing is expensive if you buy all the cars and tracks.
under 60 laps
Pit road is now open.
to the end of the race.
Catch the 13 car.
I actually have a,
50.
you wouldn't want to do this, but I got a gaming laptop I got off of eBay
Cameron Sarton leads, Hunter Carson second, and
that I
just the 80
use when I travel.
on the back straightaway caution is out.
It runs it actually surprisingly pretty good.
Lap 96 is our most recent.
I don't remember how much I paid for it.
thing that happened to Doug.
I'm going to
Pierce.
assume somewhere
No contact.
$400 range.
Wall. Quick spin. It's down.
It's got a GeForce 3050 in it, I think.
Wow.
Car 33.
Tony Brent, the
Got
lone
lucky
driver
dog,
pit
let him
road,
by me
hoping to
outside.
get an edge over the competition here, even if it is by
Let the
only a
33
couple of
car by.
laps. Let's see, 55 going.
You may not even need a $1,000 computer. $600
This
computer might
race.
run it. I really haven't looked at prices, so I'm just pulling stuff out of
The only
my
driver in pit road.
out of my head here.
Say it was Tony Brent. Yes, himself and Heberly Telemack are in pit road. Lights still active on the pace car. Getting the wave around, that was the 33 of Zachary Lovelace. Back to
I
being
don't know.
down.
I'm sure some people do, but this is what I'm sitting in.
He's getting his
I would say is cheaper than a race car.
back on the lead lap. He has been gaining positions though.
I guess it depends on what race car you're talking about.
Caution, of course, out here at the.
But I bought all this before the prices went sky high, so.
And not. And
that's also another factor.
To see who exactly is. Who has what.
Prices now are probably like 30-40% higher than what I paid.
Not sure if it was after the restart or if it was before. Gonna have to double check the point standings of the rulebook one more time. But I cannot exactly in good faith say these are for sure the championship standings, or the stage positions, more accurately, until we see those positions posted.
Don't go cheap on the monitor, I'll tell you that.
It can still give you set points, of course.
Input lag is your enemy. Of course, most gaming monitors now don't really have a lot of input lag, but
the championship points without the stage points in mind. I think, of course, Cameron Sarton still leads.
That's what you want to stay away from, is input lag.
Into the championship for. Same goes for Brian McCann. Hunter Karsten putting a good name in for himself, along with Jonathan Burt. Because those two are, in terms of Brian McCann and Cameron Sarton, in terms of, because of how close they are, you have this graphic as well of just showing the quote-unquote main focus around the cut line, where it is Hunter Karsten, Jonathan Burt fighting above the cut line, just by a few points as well.
The pace car is in.
Tony Brent outside looking in by 3 points, and that is just to tie. Michael Thorpe Jr. a shock exit early on in this race by no fault of his own. Does have the potential to make his way in next week as well. But not all is said and done just yet. He has officially retired from this race. That now makes effectively 4 drivers officially out. Pace car has pulled off.
Still there. Stay low, there's a car on the high side. Still there? Hold your line. All clear, all clear.
Oh, he messed up.
Before they go toward.
I thought he'd be able to pull me on that outside line.
Green flag is called and it flies once again. Not getting a good start on the outside lane is the 13 of Hunter Karsten. Not the best start, as that allows the 8 of Brian McCann to get to the inside. And good news for anyone. The only way that, I say everyone necessarily, well, yeah, the only way that Brian McCann can lock himself in, same with Cameron Sarton, is not mathematically. It would have to be by winning. Although there's nothing stopping Brian McCann from, well, no, it have to be 45 points, and as of now, the gap is 10 points. No, 30 points, correction. Between Brian McCann and the cut line, that being specifically Philip Chavez. So even
me and him did the same thing.
But he just has to show up effectively in order to get himself in. Nearly making contact with the back bumper of the 13 is the 6 of Jonathan Burt. He has made his way back up through the field, and just as we pull the graphic away, you have to pull the graphic back out again. Jonathan Burt 1 point ahead of Tony Brent in the cut line, and conveniently, he's also 1 position ahead of Tony Brent here on the racetrack. There are tiebreaker rules in effect if need be. But that has to come down to the cutoff race, not for this race, so nothing to worry about just yet. As the 6 goes wide in turns 3 and 4, wide on corner entry, that puts Tony Brent.
Where's the best spot to pass at?
Chavez is going to try and make a move.
I'm guessing this turn.
So Jonathan Burt, immediate crossover, albeit by a huge distance, but crossover attempts by the 6.
I think the inside line up here is dominant.
To 5th place.
Especially lets you get the dog leg cut.
Against the 1. Great job by John.
I don't know if I'm going to be able to pass him, though.
As well.
That'd be the only way I can win. I can't beat him on a long run. I'm struggling to beat him on the short run.
On the 13 of Hunter Karsten. And that Karsten going to be doing
Hunter Carson's setting up for the
offensive drive.
50 lap run.
It does catch up, but this is fantastic for Karsten.
He'll come back around us in 30 laps. Me and Sarton's racing hard right here.
From where they had started. A little bit on the back foot for the 13.
Sarton does not want me to pass him.
On corner exit as well for the 1-1 of Philip Chavez. Slides
That was my plan.
or just holds on to it.
Try to see if I can get around him early and just block. Because it's so hard to pass. And he knows that. Oh, I got a little run here. Maybe if I can keep close to him, do that again on this next turn.
Riding on board with Tony Brent.
Nope. Right rear gave out.
Start 5th, currently sits 4th, trying to track down and get by the 13 of Hunter Karsten.
I need him to make a mistake.
I could hear the
I agree.
car hitting the apron as well. This is also a key thing, is that you have to be very careful with the banking transition. It is very possible that
My window of opportunity is dwindling.
aggressive you take the apron. Most of the time it's relatively fine, but it's still a very real risk of upsetting the underside of the car. I know from driving the next gen, you see that's why some drivers, I say some, because Carson is taking the entire dog leg for the most part, but that's why some drivers are just going effectively one car width or one lane under that yellow line. It may not prove successful because here comes Tony Brent for 3rd place down the back straightaway. He'll make
Also, Hunter's going to get past.
Side by side they go through turn number 3. Tony Brent is in line for a possible podium finish. I see the car wobble there, both on the banking transition, both times on entry and exit.
Yeah, Sarton beat me on the short run.
Very marginal between these.
Here's where I'm going to drop back. So now I'm hoping for a caution.
Just like that, Tony Brent has made his way up to the 3rd place position. Can he set his sights? Well, of course he's already set his sights on Brian McCann and Cameron Sarton, although having a little bit of a secondary idea is the 13 of Hunter Carson. Even from up above, you can see just how harsh the banking transition is.
Unless this works. Nah.
Right now, in terms of lap time, let's go ahead and give that to you. It is a faster lap time.
He's copying me now.
Brent by just about a 1/10 of a second here. Let's go ahead and throw up the previous laps up on
He's getting a little scared.
screen. A 28.0 for both McCann and Sarton, but not for Tony Brent.
Now I just need to keep this pressure up. He's making mistakes.
Track has started to play in the favor of Tony Brent. 71-degree air temperature, 75-degree track temperature. And we are closing in on 35 laps to go. The final stretch of this race, and I believe these drivers effectively could, if they really had to, make it to the end. The 8 of Brian McCann is just sitting on the gearbox and has been of Cameron Sarton ever since the restart, and ever since these drivers had sorted everything out.
The leader just did a 28.011.
Just need him to make a little mistake. Come on. He is definitely mirror driving.
See, the gap is visibly closing here. 0.5 of a second between.
I need to start cutting the dog leg.
0.6 of a second actually between Tony Brent and Brian McCann. 0.7 of a second between. That is the interval on the bottom right hand side as opposed to the full gap. So the gap is closing, just very slowly, but surely. Again, this track could strike at any time as well. We've seen the lack of grip, namely out of this corner right here.
Oh, hit the apron.
We've seen it happen for a few drivers. We've seen it through turns 1 and 2 as well. 33 laps to go, and it looks like McCann has started to very slightly fall back. It's about car length now. It's going to decide to take the apron or take the dog leg a little bit more, but again, it's a very marginal difference here. And in fact, he is definitely falling back. There's 0.5 of a second between Tony Brent and Brian McCann. Equal lap time between the two drivers, nearly by, well, about 1,000th of a second separated their previous lap times between the 8 and the 28. As you just take a look from up above, from seeing the best visual indicator of how these drivers are driving this track, it is 0.05 of a second advantage for Tony Brent last time by the start-finish line in terms of lap time, but it has to be way more consistent. And not to say Brent isn't consistent, but it just has to be a bigger gap to really make a dent in that time. About 0.02 of a second separate the lap times. Meanwhile, for all of these four, the fastest one is Hunter Carson, 28.14.
He's giving it his all.
The other three are running 28.2.
That's all mine.
So at least last time by, Hunter Carson was the faster driver. This time by, it goes in favor still. Well, no, it's a tie of the last lap between nearly all three of these drivers. You cannot make this up. Take a look to the right-hand side, or the left-hand side, sorry.
I need to cut later like he's doing.
28.183, 0.181, 0.199, and then a 0.181 again. I just can't believe that. All these drivers have stagnated in their own bubble in a sense. The slower one of, actually no, the faster one of all these four is Cameron Sarton this time by. All four of them are just trading lap times, lap after lap after lap. Well, we have a chance. Let's take a look at this battle going on for the 5th place position. Let's take a look at Jonathan Burt. Firmly sits in 5th place. Philip Chavez sits in 6th. That's a tongue twister and a half right there. And these three drivers are running about the same lap time as well, 28.3 average. More in depth, it's a 28.338 for Jonathan Burt, a 28.360 for Philip Chavez, 28.374 for David McConnell. The gap has grown a little bit between Tony Brent and Brian McCann. So Brent had a moment, but maybe got by Hunter Carson a bit too late, but there's still 25 laps to go at the start-finish line, which would put these drivers at, I believe, lap 60 on their runs. Longest I believe we've seen the show as long as about 55-ish laps before we had a caution.
Oops.
The gap continues to grow, so it is now two separate
Trying too hard now.
between two separate drivers. It's Cameron Sargent, Brian McCann battling for the win. Tony Brent, Hunter Karsten currently battling for third place. 24 laps to go. The tire wear is getting to these drivers. Remember a bit earlier, we mentioned Tony Brent was one of the drivers to pit early under the previous caution. Well, it doesn't seem to have done him a little bit of luck. It did for the short term, but 8-lap fresher tires mean nothing to Hunter Karsten in terms of the last time they had pit. Karsten was there throughout the entire lap. He'll try again through the dog leg. Does he send it down to the apron? He does not. I've really seen, we've only seen really one driver who is willing to use the entire apron, and that was Michael Thorpe Jr. Everyone else
Oh, we got the wall.
content with staying above the yellow line unless it's the dog leg. I wouldn't really expect them to move in turns 1 and 2 unless it would be the final lap, so I'm pretty sure that they would not want to really make the tires a little bit more worn than they had to be. There goes Hunter Karsten to the inside of Tony Brent, battling it out for the third place position on that track. Not only that, but battling it out for the 1 point that sits between those two drivers. Third and fourth on track, third and fourth in the championship standings.
Drove it in a little deep that time.
Side by side through turn 4 they go. Advantage clearly is going to go to Hunter Karsten here. He flies by the 28 of Tony Brent. Brent meets him even though mid-corner through turns 3 and 4, still side by side. Neither of them willing to give an inch. And it goes in favor of Tony Brent unless Hunter Karsten, no, he does not have the momentum to make a move to the inside. 20 laps to go at the start-finish line, and still
I can stay with him. There ain't no way I'm passing him.
these front two runners.
Unless he makes more mistakes like that.
Karsten got by. It's a crossover for Tony Brent.
Even hitting the wall don't really hurt that much.
And third and fourth on
Probably helped him.
remains to be the phrase between these two drivers, not including stage points, which is a very rare saying from what I would normally say. We'll have to wait post-race to see what the stage points officially
Need a caution.
I don't want to on the fish have the incorrect points, especially at this part of the season, as Tony Brent wants to get any single point possible. Doesn't really care what stage points are for him, but
Dominant in that turn has helped a whole lot.
are as I think they are, as opposed to knowing. It will be Hunter Karsten with the advantage by 2 points, but we cannot say that for sure yet. So at the moment, it's just current position points. And Tony Brent tried all he can, tries once again in the dog leg, but not really able to carry the momentum to challenge Hunter Karsten.
Problem is, all he's got to do is mirror drive and copy me. So every time I find something, he just copies me.
"17 laps to go. The race is not over yet, especially around the top 5. Jonathan Burt, Philip Chavez, David McConnell, 5th, 6th, 7th. Burt and Chavez fighting it out for the 5th place positions. 0.3 of a second between Sargent and McCann. A rare saying that I would say is that Cameron Sargent is gapping Brian McCann on the racetrack. Last time by is a 1/100th of a second advantage to Brian McCann in terms of the previous lap time, but Sargent is
Hey, Medford, how's it going?
slowly widen the gap and put himself in a firm position of making it into the championship 4.
I think this was where either this track or Martinsville where the hot dog stand was born.
6th and 7th. Lap times between them, there was advantage to Jonathan Burke, who just barely left a little bit of paint on the wall on the outside. 0.4 of a second now between Sargent and McCann.
The outside line didn't work.
Advantage still goes to Jonathan Burt. He is 1/10 of a
I'm
second
just trying different stuff now.
last time by. Dare I say, looks like everything is starting to sort itself out here. Now we get ourselves onto this long run. Still 4.
Oh, was it New Hampshire?
Oh, and a lot can.
Yeah, that's right. I remember now. Down the front stretch.
Hypothetically, Doug Pierce
Just knew it was a flat track.
pull up behind the garage and still get a 10th place finish. He will not be passed on laps for Travis Start.
Come on, caution.
Still sitting repairing his car. Doug Pierce sitting in pit road for the last 2 minutes. Not sure if he ran into some other issues, but I believe remember earlier that Doug Pierce was one of the drivers that did spin, well, the driver that spun out of number 2, nose the left front into the inside wall, but hypothetically, if he really wanted to, Pierce could park it because he will not be passed by Travis Start. Doug Pierce is 12 laps down, Travis Start 49 laps down, but because they're sitting in their pit stall, they are not officially out of the race. In terms of finishing results, themes, well, the theme is speed and consistency, that's for sure, as things seem to look to be so.
10 to go. The lead
Gap
is
continues to widen. Cameron Sargent
28.375.
setting the pace.
There's a hole on the track.
Again, we will wait and see. The points for the finishing positions are, of course, will be finalized as per usual, but the stage, we'll have to wait. 10 laps to go. But
Maybe this lap car hold him up.
there is a chance that Michael Thorpe Jr. did score stage points. Effectively 8 of them, and if that is the case...
Oh, he's getting loose too.
Would be... He would be pretty safe, I believe. He would have still a chance of getting into the championship 4. Emphasis on would, but again, have to wait and see if things fare. Zachary Lovelace scraped the outside wall. That's where the smoke was from. Same goes for Cameron Sargent. These drivers like to be so ridiculously precise, and I find it fascinating that they can be so precise as both of them, both our front runners, slid off turn number 2. Lovelace gives them the inside lane. I find it
Hey,
fascinating.
Todd, how's it going?
It can be so precise that they can be scraping the outside wall and still maintain speed.
He needs to tap the wall a little harder. And a caution wouldn't hurt either.
And 6 of the 8 drivers in the current round of 8 it to be sitting pretty for a moment. 2 of them not so much, but there is still the next week to look forward to at the Auto Club Speedway. There is a lot on the line. Not only spawning the championship 4, but of course points just
We're
in
in a podium
general.
position.
Still have 6 laps to go, and as well, things may look a bit harrowing. It is not over until it is over. Still a lot.
It's not over till it's over, but she's warming up.
A lot can happen. So we're not going to sit here and say that the finishing positions are final for all the top 8, realistically.
28.337.
Lap times still being traded. Last time by Cameron Sargent.
I've got nothing for him.
8.291. But you can see it there on the left hand or the right hand side, and we'll see an update here at the start finish line. His fastest lap, interestingly, was 1 second slower. So 28.338. Give it a second to update if it needs to. Nope, that is the final lap time. And then for Brian McCann, a 28.387. Remember what I said about trading lap times? That's
Drifting.
really what it is. That's going back and forth in terms of advantages.
Oh, that tire's going to be mad this turn.
The millisecond differences is absolutely ridiculous and is so entertaining.
All right, man. 2 to go.
28.326 for Cameron Sarton, 28.349. Meanwhile, for fifth place, the gap has closed by a couple tenths between Jonathan Burt and Philip Chavez. Remember what I said, positions may not always be final despite how things look. With 2 laps to go and 6/10 of a second between first and second, well, maybe the battle might be over, but this battle sure isn't.
Yeah, she's starting to sing.
Keep an eye on this as they come to 2 laps to go themselves.
It ain't looking good. Hopefully I just maintain a second here.
It is the white flag at the start-finish line. Again, a lot can still happen even on this last lap. White flag waving, final lap as we go 150 miles of
Sarton gets him another one.
the Phoenix Raceway under the
There's
lights
the
in the
flag.
desert
It's over.
to kick off the round of 8. It has
There you
been
go,
a
man. Good
fantastic
job, driver.
run so far tonight for the one of
Second.
And he shows that, well, once again, this season he has shown that there is someone who can take it to Brian McCann. Cameron Sarton crosses
Sarton is
that was-
and wins
that
at
was super
Phoenix.
Sarton is pretty fast.
Speed 150.
I thought- well,
Meanwhile,
I was
for
trying to-
fifth place,
all I can keep
Thank you,
up
Brandon.
Jonathan
Thank you, AU.
Ahead, Philip
Thank you, Todd.
slides out of turn 4 and across the start-finish line into
Yeah, I
the
tried
inside
for
wall.
Like 20 laps running different lines to get enough.
But
to,
that seals it for Cameron Sarton. He has officially given himself a spot into the championship 4.
Thank you.
He, no doubt, can very, very effectively just take a deep sigh of relief as he will be burning it down here on the front stretch. A fantastic job by both Cameron Sarton and Brian McCann here at the virtual Phoenix Raceway. Is he going to try and find his way to victory lane? Oh boy. Well, we haven't really prepared for this as he just phases through the safety truck, and there's a wall there. Ooh. Well, no, hold on. I think he's still trying. I think he knows where to go. You can drive into victory lane here at Phoenix, just not through there. I think he's just going to opt for going into
Oh, he made it.
his pit box. Nope, he's still going to try. Well, while he tries to find the pit box, or the entry to victory lane, we'll go ahead and give you the finishing results here. Cameron Sarton, Brian McCann, Hunter Karsten are your top 3. We'll be getting an interview with those 3 in a little bit. Tony Brent finishes 4th, Jonathan Burt 5th, Philip Chavez 6th, 7th place, David McConnell 8th place.
Was Cameron wearing a Texas paint?
Is Doug Pierce, and Cameron Sarton has found his way into victory lane. There we go. No official lights there.
It was
placed
not.
by iRacing, but still a spot nonetheless for that number 1 machine. As we'll bring up your
So Hunter got
results once
the
again, and we'll go over
Texas
your top 10
bonus prize
once again, since that was a little bit impromptu. But Cameron Sarton, first place, he advances and locks himself into the championship for Brian McCann. Very close on mathematically locking himself in.
No, he didn't.
Yes,
That's not
so
Texas.
already.
So who
Stand
won?
by for that. He sits in second. Third place, Hunter Karsten. Great job for him after qualifying in
Jonathan, I
first
guess?
place and ran into, well, the wall earlier, but I would say that's a pretty solid day.
Jonathan got-
the 13 machine.
Yeah, Jonathan got 5th.
Finishing in 4th place. Great job.
he gets the
and
bonus
consistent
prize.
as always for that number 28 machine. Jonathan Burt as well gets a top 5 finish on the board for Texas Speed. He finishes in 5th. Philip Chavez in the 101, 6th place. And not too bad of a finish as well for his last race of this season. Unfortunately, we will not be seeing him due to him having real life commitments elsewhere. In the meantime, over the last 3 races of this season, David McConnell finishes in 7th, a great top 10 for him as well. Hamberly Telmack and Zachary Lovelace finish 8th and 9th place, respectively. 2 more top 10s to count on the stats for Texas Speed. Doug Pierce finishes in the 10th place position in pit road. The second page will hold Travis Dart in the number 26 in the 11th place position, alongside the 34 of Michael Thorpe Jr. Ryan Lynch as well out in 13th. 14th, Daniel McConnell and William Duff exiting in 15th place. A very early day for that number 17, which is genuinely unfortunate considering that he literally did not get a chance. Barely 1 lap, and well, we saw how that had quite literally ended for the 17, heavy front end damage for him. Well, let's go ahead and get a interview in with your top 3 finishers here. I'll be starting off with the number 13 of Hunter Karsten. A fantastic job for you tonight, Hunter, as my voice breaks a little bit. It's been a long night, apparently. That's fantastic, but a great job for you. You qualified on the pole, and you managed to pull out a 3rd place finish by the end, especially with quite a few, I guess, literal run-ins with the outside wall at times.
Yeah, it was a solid piece, qualifying on pole. It was really fast the first run, and then I sped on pit road, which kind of ruined my
So he did speed.
winning. But once the track got rubbered, I was struggling a lot more and more as the run went on. But we managed to salvage a good position.
Especially after speeding on pit road. Now, I looked at the pit entry and pit exit, where it was, of course, 45 miles an hour, but was it out of the pit box immediately? Because you were right there, so I'm wondering if you had just gotten pushed along.
No, it was me just trying to play the flaw in the system between 45 and 46. There's something you can do there, and I just played with it a little bit too much and missed it by a tad bit.
I'll explain that to everyone else in a few moments, but regardless, a 3rd place finish for you.
Hit that 47. I don't like that 47.
Provisionally, and I say provisionally because even I'm not sure about.
Got to keep it under 46.2.
You are provisionally 3rd place in the championship standings at maybe 2,040 points. So a close moment. That's not, well, that might be taking stage points into account. I don't know. We'll see how things go with that, but regardless, still focusing on Auto Club for next week, luckily in the daytime as well, and a lot of lanes available to you and everybody else. So your thoughts as we had to...
I'm for sure going to lose my voice during the interview.
Yeah, I'm personally not looking forward to it. I've always struggled mightily at Auto Club, but every time in this league I've said that, and I've somehow had a good result. So hopefully we have the same result and we can make it to the Final Four.
Well, before we go ahead and let you go ahead and shout who gets it done for you in that number 13 machine.
I'd like to thank 24 Speed, 24 Social, 213 Simware, HC Sim Shots, and Guardian Autosport for all the support that they've done for me, and hopefully we can make it to the Final Four.
Well, let's see. Just now, good timing, managed to get the stage points as well. So with that being updated, I'll show it on screen after this. Well, you're still 3rd, but you're, instead of being plus 3 points, you're now plus 5 points. So a little bit concerning, but a good stage finish could cement you that spot.
Yeah, hopefully that stage finish helps, and hopefully we...
2nd place finisher, that being the number 8 machine of Brian McCann. And Brian, a good race for you as well. Looked like once the run got on more towards the end that you weren't really just able to necessarily... Well, you were matching the pace of Cameron Sarton, but it seemed like he had something else tonight.
Yeah, I could have stayed behind him for a while. My strategy there, I on that last run was to try to pass him on that short run, because that's probably about the only opportunity I would have. But he was, I think he knew that too, so he was driving it hard. So we were both driving it hard at the beginning, so I wasn't able to get anywhere close. But longer in the run, I was trying different lines and stuff just to see if I can find anything, but I just kept everything I tried. I just kept dropping off. So good race. Congrats to Sarton on the win there.
And of course, we move on into the virtual Auto Club Speedway, which, slight tangent, kind of pains me to say, actually, because that layout no longer exists in real life. I never thought I'd be saying that. That is, oh man. Aside from that, we still had the virtual Auto Club Speedway, a very enjoyable track, 2 miles and effectively like 6 lanes of available space. So hypothetically, you could go 6 or 7 wide if people even really want to, but you are provisionally, I think, let me double check, 34 points above the cut line. So even just finishing second in the stage would mathematically have you advance into the championship 4, but still a race to focus on nonetheless for next week. So what are your thoughts as we head into the daytime as well at that 2-mile track?
Yeah, daytime I think is going to really cause us to save tires a whole bunch, but I like the track. It's a tire saving track, so I've always had good experiences there, and it's not my best track, but it's not my worst either. So I think Phoenix and Dover is my worst, so I'm looking forward to next week.
Before we go ahead and let you go, well, I mean, you know the deal by now. Go ahead and shout gets it done for you for that number 8.
Yeah, my family, you for doing the broadcast, the league admins for putting on this show, and the sponsors who help out with it, Race Control, and the drivers showing up every week, and everybody tuning in to watch. Thank you.
And thank you for your time. We will, well, surely talk to you again next week.
We'll stick around and see what Cameron's got to say. Let me turn the broadcast back on.
That is the number 8 machine of Brian McCann. And we move on to the first place finisher, who can once again relax, as the one of Cameron Sarton has officially, and no doubt in a huge sigh of relief, has advanced his way into the championship 4. So nothing to worry about for next week, but I'm still going to ask you about next week regardless as we head to Auto Club Speedway. But of course, let's go ahead and start off with tonight's run. You qualified second on the outside of Hunter Karsten, and well, at this point, not only did the qualifying pace show, but the qualifying pace showed in the race pace, with you out driving Brian McCann in the latter half in those final, effectively 61 laps.
Yeah, good track positional race, and he kept me honest for sure. So it felt like you just were in qualifying lap after qualifying lap, as after the first run kind of realized the tires didn't mean that much. You could just gas it for majority of the run, and that's what we did, and I felt like we put on a pretty good show, even though I kind of had him every single lap. I couldn't, he didn't force me to make any mistakes, so I think I made one bad turn in the last 55 laps, and when you do that, you got a good chance to win. So another relaxation next week, which is nice, and try and go
relaxation.
Hopefully that.
Oh, because he won.
Of course, moving on now to next week with the.
I'm a little slow.
Still hate saying virtual Auto Club Speedway because now it's only existing in the virtual world. But
next week is a custom setup too.
That is the case, but regardless, still moving on to next week. 6 lanes of available space, roughly. It could be potentially 8 if everyone is insane enough to do so. But daytime that time for Auto Club, so it was relatively cooler track temperatures tonight, and shockingly a desert with. It was about 75-degree track temperature, so no doubt the 115-degree, if so, track temperature at Auto Club next week is maybe a slight.
So as hard as I was leaning on the right front, it was still a little higher.
Yeah, which is a good thing. So it should provide for some good racing across all those lanes. So hopefully we get a few more people to show up and we can go to work. And it should be a lot of fun, hopefully.
Hopefully that will be the case. And before we go ahead and let you go ahead and shout who gets it done for you for that number 1 machine.
Yeah, shout out to Mom, Dad, Grandma for watching. Jerry Jones for God knows what he's doing. And yourself, and try to send it up. Appreciate it. And
thanks to you. We hope to talk to you again in, well, I would say next week. I guess both next week, but also in 2 weeks' time.
For sure. We'll see you.
That is race winner Cameron Sarton here tonight, cementing his stake into.
I'm out. Y'all have a good one.
Of the championship.
See you tomorrow. WSSR starts.